Hello, welcome to another reading at the Barrow. Thanks for subscribing, and wow.
Let's get on.
Let's get on. Appearances. By the time I am in my early teenage years, my mother's fastidious to take that again.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. By the time I am in my early teenage years, my mother's fastidiousness regarding our physical environment crosses into the territory of my physical appearance. I am blessed with what she calls, quote, magnificent hair, end quote.
As long as it's curated.
It is curly in texture and golden brown in colour. These locks mark me out physically, and so how they are to be managed is always a point for family discussion. So too, my figure. I have an all right figure, but with a natural propensity to put on weight. Be careful or you'll end up like cousin Pauline, my mother warns, mocking the daughter of my father's sister.
No wonder I always worried about getting on the scales.
Mocking the daughter of my father's sister, a side of the family we rarely see nowadays because, according to my mother, my father's... I knew that was coming, and I sort of forgot what you wrote. Let me take that again. I have an all right figure, but with a natural propensity to put on weight. Be careful or you'll end up like cousin Pauline, my mother warns, mocking the daughter of my father's sister, a side of the family we rarely see nowadays, because according to my mother, my father's family are stupid.
Well, my father's
quote
always was, I thought my family were all right until your mother told me they weren't.
Oh, that's hideous. That's really awful.
There's lots of hideous things. Gee, that's an understatement, isn't it?
Oh, that's awful. That's so sad. Oh well. I long for someone to knock on the door and surprise us with a visit, but spontaneity has a tinge of recklessness that my mother cannot abide. Both the need to get things right and to keep the house perfectly extend to our engagement with others. I am learning that there are many secret unspoken rules. I am learning that everything is being judged. It is not just my mother's perfectionism that is exhausting, but the fear of what could happen if her expectations and standards aren't met. What's wrong?
Kingsley's just jumped the neighbour's fence.
Yes, there he goes.
Oh my Lord.
See, he sits on that little, there's that little barrier. He's still there. You see his tail.
Oh dear.
Oh
dear.
There we go. They're just like work dungarees, my mother laments. How can this possibly be a new fashion? Like the other girls I attend school with, I want a pair of denim jeans, but they do not meet the standards by which my mother wishes to curate my appearance and are not the clothes she would choose. Please, Mum, I say, it's just the new style. My mother does relent, but in the end, the chosen pair are, of course, slightly different. The ones selected by my mother are more tailored. And therefore more respectable, better, but at least I get a pair.
Oh dear. I always had to be different. Doesn't matter. Everything had to be different.
There's a couple more of these appearance-related ones. There's ones that I've kind of
highlighted.
A around this same time, midi skirts are appearing, and I want one of these too.
Yes.
One of these too. How ridiculous, my mother bemoans. Who wants to go back to trailing dowdy hemlines? Well, Mum, I say, Penelope's mother is wanting to make me one. She's making one for Penelope. Oh, well, my mother says, weighing this up. If Penelope's mum wants to, we'll choose some material, but we'll pay her, of course.
Of course. No one can do anything.
Nothing can ever go unpaid for. Of all the things in the world there is to fear, my mother's greatest threat is anyone doing her a favour. Worse, owing a debt, whether actual or perceived. She's actually just got loads of material, I say, and for her it will be just as easy to run up 2 skirts. Oh well, we better see the material first. After much consternation, the material is finally approved, but the actual unevenness of the hem never makes the grade. Forever after it is commented on. Whenever I wear the midi, at the very least, though, my mother's advice to Penelope's mum that she position the hemline just below the knee is acted upon, so that, like my jeans, the skirt is more respectable and therefore better.
She wasn't the local seamstress.
She was not the local seamstress, Penelope's mum. But, you know, what's really interesting in those little vignettes, and there's a few others, but I might just put them on the post that I do this time. I remember this too, so I, of course, when I was living with you all, and I was essentially being raised by this woman.
You all?
You all. Y'all. And I was essentially being raised by this woman as well. I mean, she would chaperone me to hairdressing appointments, and then we would come back from the hairdressing appointment, and she would evaluate. She would finish it. She would evaluate it. Tut, tut, tut. You know, so-and-so never does the back right, so-and-so never gets this clipped correctly, and she would have to amend it, and on 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 and on.
Yeah.
It would go.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know, it's a bit like how we say my father wasn't seeing or hearing any of this. I mean, sometimes when we've had these discussions, I forget too how constant it was. Maybe I'm guilty of doing what he did. Not noticing. However, I'm going to contradict myself in saying that, because how else do you explain the eggshells that I walk on around my mother? And, I mean, that's evident.
Yeah, I mean,
everything was a big deal, wasn't it? The haircut.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm going to go on with something from your childhood now about clothing. We were a family that followed the rules, but not when we wanted to bend them ourselves, and somehow that was just outrageous. Like the little woolen vests that your other grandmother knitted, your paternal grandmother, because I think she mainly knitted those.
Yes, she did.
Wow. It wasn't an affront when the school said, well, no, he can't wear those. It's not school uniform. Oh, it's the same colour, and it's really what everyone should be wearing. Look at them, how beautiful they are. See, it's a rules-based order. It's a bit like certain president at the moment. It's a rules-based order only for yourself.
Well, so...
It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you unpick it like we are unpicking it.
So
We should have been unpicking those woolen vests and rolling up the wall.
The story of the vest is actually great, and like it's a good sort of little bonus I'll put here on the Substack. It's like, and maybe I'll mention it in the main show, but like, so so I went to primary school, and there was obviously a school uniform, and you just wore that like everyone else. But of course, my grandmother, and actually my paternal grandmother as well, my paternal grandmother would knit these little vests. And again, like I was always dressed like a little doll. So like...
Yeah, I see that now.
I was always dressed up, and I was always dressed up beyond the standards of everyone around me. So I stood out.
But also like a child from another era.
Yes, so standards beyond everyone else, but also like from the 40s. So little hats and little vests and little, you know, I was so gay. Like I looked like this little gay doll. And also because I looked like a girl or a boy.
Yeah.
Like I had such an androgynous face. It was like I was so prissy, and not really my own doing. This was how I was treated and how I was kind of conditioned. And so anyway, the paternal grandmother knits a particular vest, and the maternal grandmother decides that is going to be part of his school uniform. Now, think about how fucking crazy that is. And so...
She'd be one of those terrorists on the WhatsApp group now. Wouldn't she?
Can you imagine
Because
her on
there
a
were
WhatsApp
no rules to be adhered to.
No.
Other than her rules.
Her rules, though, yeah. But, so anyway, so I have a different uniform now. So I'm the only kid in a different uniform.
Until you sat out of something.
And then the school gets involved. Now, this is how the target painted on my back.
Yeah.
I am so objectified that I become, again, another territory to be fought over.
Yeah.
The school and my maternal grandmother are having a fight about the school uniform. I'm the one who has to go to school wearing the school uniform.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're having a fight.
Yeah.
It's all happening over my head all the time.
Yes, I see that.
So anyway, somehow one of the kids in the class, because I think it became such an ordeal, and also because my maternal grandmother, your mum, is walking me to the school gates and having this fight every day, using me as the object to have her stance with. Now, you don't take it off, even if they ask you to, and what is happening? Like, why? And also, by the way, I hated this fucking vest. I hated all the vests, my paternal grandmother. And why did she keep fucking knitting them? And why did my maternal grandmother keep encouraging her to? Because no one else fucking wears these vests. So anyway...
You may as well have been your grandfather, born in 1931.
I hated my life. I mean, I just hated my life. Yeah. I was just like, this sucks. This just sucks. And so anyway, finally, a kid at the school does me a favour, but they're so worked up because they're going, take it off. The school says to take it off. And I'm going, well, I can't because my grandmother tells me I can't. And actually my other grandmother knitted it and I have to wear it. And this kid's going, take it off. It's not school uniform. And I'm like, no. This other kid takes a pair of scissors and cuts it up. Just took it and cut it. This was such an ordeal. Now it ended it, but this is how extreme the conflict was.
Oh.
I was such a point of contest and conflict. I was a site of conflict that another student attacked me and cut the vest. That's how it ended. Another student cut the vest.
Oh my word.
See, like, but that is the perfect summary of my position.
Yeah.
I could have been lynched. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like I was going to get lynched.
In another era. You're almost in that other era.
I was, you know, and I'd be the one hanged, but I had I couldn't care less.
No.
You know, it's the townsfolk and these people, you know, and they're all crazy, but I'm the one having fucking rotten eggs thrown at me.
Mm.
I just live in this town. I'm not invested.
Well, been in the stocks, in the playground.
I was emotionally.
Oh.
But another student stepped in and cut the vest.
Glorious.
That is how crazy this issue became.
Yeah.
So, a couple of vignettes from Mum on appearances and my vest story.
What more?
What more do you want?
What more do you want? Valuable life lessons.
No.
Just let your kid go out in the street.
Just leave people alone. Just shut up and leave people alone.
Absolutely. Please.
Thanks for subscribing. Bye.